everybody? It's your favorite YouTuber, Austin Holloman, and we have another daily live stream interview for the audience while we are here in Asuncion, Paraguay. And it has got even colder today. So I'm gonna have to wear long sleeves from now on, it looks like, because it is nowhere near warm outside. But we have a special guest today, Mr. Redbeard Rants, and he super chatted me a while back whenever I was in the Philippines, I believe, when I was in Manila, and saying that he had a similar situation like what happened to me in Brazil happened to him. But I'm going to let him explain that. We're going to talk about online dating in Colombia, Brazil, wherever else he's been. And we're going to see his insights on what he thinks the future is like and what it's currently like, and maybe even why it's like the way how it is. So without further ado, I'm going to bring him up. What's going on, Mr. Redbeard? How are you?
Yeah, appreciate you having me on here, and I'm doing great. Let's do a quick audio check. How am I doing audio-wise? Loud and clear?
Perfect. How about me?
Fantastic, yeah. So I got this cool, just making sure it's coming out of this microphone. Okay, good. Now that we've established that, no technical difficulties. Yeah, what can I say? Very appreciative to be on here. And yeah, like I said, I've been following you for a while, ever since your little incident in Brazil. I think there's kind of a brotherhood and camaraderie, right? Anyone goes through a horrible, life-changing cancellation like that. So, in that sense, we have that, in common. And yeah, appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir. It's good to have you as well. So, would you tell everybody, what do you do?
Yeah, let me tell you guys what it is. So I am an online dating coach. And one thing that I want to emphasize for a lot of you guys, you have no idea who I am, and you're like, who's this random guy who claiming, he has all the answers to online dating and, create a rock star dating life. Listen up, because the things I'm about to teach are completely revolutionary. They're things you have never heard any other dating coach talk about. This is not the typical hire a photographer and go out and get good photos in your city, and it's all about good photos and make a Tinder profile. We're going to talk about systemization, creating systems that work on autopilot, virtual assistants. We're going to talk about how you can create attraction with women, even if you don't have a perfectly symmetrical face and big arms like I clearly don't have. And I'll be the first to admit, I'm kind of a typical dorky white boy. I'm definitely a nerd. And if this nerdy balding, I got a hair transplant, it's actually kind of come in. You can see here. I used to be balding. It's actually finally starting to bear fruit. But if at least traditionally, in the old days, balding, skinny, dorky ginger can date absolute, legitimate, perfect 9s and 10s that I have the receipts for on my YouTube, which is Redbeard Rants, then there's no reason why you can't do it too. So listen up. I'm going to bring a lot of value. I'm going to bring the heat for you and your audience today.
Well, I appreciate that. So can you share your journey on becoming a digital nomad and what initially sparked your interest to live abroad?
Yeah, so the answer to that is actually, oddly enough, it was financial reasons in the beginning. So I was living in Los Angeles. I'm from the suburbs of Torrance, California, if anybody knows what that is, living in West Hollywood. This is at the age of 27, 28, something like that. I had a business that went belly up, and I'm like, shit, I can't afford to spend $7,000-8,000 a month living in, West Hollywood, Los Angeles anymore. So I packed my things and I went to Medellin, Colombia. That was my first experience. I had been to like maybe Costa Rica or a few other places, just quick vacations, but it was always just short term, a vacation. It was never for a long-term stay. I went to Medellin because number one, I had a network there. And number two is I've always had, what do you want to call it? An attraction, an affinity, a fetish for Latin women, the brown skin, the fat ass, the passion, the sexuality, the way they treat their guys, etc. They kind of put you on a pedestal once you make them fall in love. They can be feisty as well. Oh shit, hit my mic. They can be a little feisty as well, but overall great women. So I went there for financial reasons, learned how to do internet marketing, make money online again. And of course, once you go to Medellin and live there for a while, you start dating women that for the first time in your life are feminine, beautiful, and actually treat you well. It's very hard to, be there for 3 months eating filet mignon every night and then go home and eat dog food again. You kind of develop a taste for filet mignon. It's really hard to go backwards.
Absolutely. I would agree. Yeah. Once you get used to that lifestyle that you live abroad, you can't really go back. That's for me, that was social life and just the quality of living that I had abroad. I couldn't even socialize with people when I got back to Texas. So what led you to specialize in online dating, like being an online dating coach?
I've always been very good at making observations, analyzing data. Like I said, I'm a nerd. You guys will notice that more as I talk. My nerdy personality will come out even more. And I'm very good at problem solving. So if I was to look at a problem, say, I'm not dating 9s and 10s. I'm getting 7.5 here and there, doing a lot of cold approach. My background is I was involved with Real Social Dynamics. If anybody knows that company, the original pickup artist guys, Owen Cook, very good friend of mine. But I wasn't always, here and again, I get the odd 8.5 or something. But I was like, why am I not getting the hottest girls? How can I solve this? And I looked around at, friends of mine, acquaintances, people in the community. And every time I knew of a guy who was not one-off, but quite consistently getting with legit 9s and 10s. I am a superficial bastard. I want the baddest bitches, for myself. It was always coming from Instagram. These guys that were getting the 9s and 10s consistently. It was never, I, bumped into her at the grocery store, or I saw her on a, university campus, right? I bought her a drink at a nightclub. It was, sometimes from a website called Seeking, which is like a sugar daddy website, although they weren't paying the girls. They were doing, what's it called? Salt Daddy Game or something like that. Or a little bit from dating apps, but it was mostly Instagram. And I said, okay, I think I want to invest in this. And a quick side tangent is whether it's, in terms of cultural movements or dating, certainly financial, anytime you can see around corners and spot a trend, you're going to win. If you were to, watch the news November 2019 and say, this little virus thing, this is getting, I think this is not just a fad. This is going to get big. What if I just bought 10,000 K99 or whatever they call the hospital mask from China? Or what if I invest and put, $10,000 in buying stock in Zoom? If you're the first to act on these things, you win big. So I said, I'm going to be one of the first. I'm going to take online dating to another point, and we'll talk more about my systems and stuff, but I'm not going to do the course where it's like hire a photographer and get good photos, you know what I mean? And I'm going to go all in on this, and the results have been, again, look at me, I'm not by any means extraordinarily handsome man by any means, and if I'm dating 9s and 10s and even getting the odd 8.5 and 9 in the US, certainly anybody else can do it. So that was my thing. It all came from just looking at the big picture. How are these guys getting 9s and 10s? Oh, it's from Instagram, it's from online. I want to do that too. That's how I got into it.
Okay, so that's a very good answer. So how do you compare the online dating scene in the States compared to abroad? Do you find it to be the same, or is the difficulty higher in the States?
Sorry, when you say hire, you mean hire a dating virtual assistant or getting results from online dating? I didn't understand that.
Oh, like is the difficulty higher in the States? Like, is it a lot harder to get women using online dating in the States?
Oh, harder. Sorry, I misunderstood you. You said harder. I thought you said hire, like you're hiring like an employee.
Oh,
harder.
no,
my bad. I misunderstood you. Sorry there. So okay, online dating in the United States versus going overseas. It's like a video game when you get a power up, right? You get the mushroom and then you get bigger, or you get the superstar and you're like invincible. The same online dating profile that you swore was shadow banned in the United States, you're in Miami, you're in LA, whatever. You swore that you were shadow banned on Tinder. It's not working. I even bought the super swipe, or I even bought a boost, and all I got was one tranny that I accidentally swiped right on, and this and that. When you go overseas, you're like, oh, I guess I wasn't shadow banned. Again, it's like you took the power up. It's like you're Popeyed, you ate the spinach, and all of a sudden it just works. I will say one thing though, and this is maybe some misconception that certain guys may have, is that, and maybe you can relate to this too, it's not as if you just take your regular chump online dating profile or your regular in-person game and you get on a plane, at least in most cases, and you just jump into dating the 8.5s, 9s, and 10s. Typically, you see these guys getting, 6s and 7s, and they're very thrilled to get that. And I consider 7s to be very pretty girls. If I were to smash a 7, I would take pictures of her and send them to my friends. I think 7s are great. But it's not like, oh, I'm a passport bro now. Every woman overseas, the super high quality English speaking, beautiful girls that are young, no tattoos, not single moms, have all these other great qualities, loyal, submissive, are just going to line up for you. No, you still have to put in a lot of work if you want to get that upper echelon. But to answer your question, yeah, it just gets much easier. It's like you took the power up,
Yeah, and a lot of people confuse easier with, like you said, like it's like a miracle. Like, oh, I just get my passport and I travel, and now I can date a Rihanna in another country. It's not like that. You just get better than what you would have got. But if you want the best, it's the same rules still apply, where you have to work on yourself and master being the best version of yourself. I would agree. So could you describe some unique aspects of dating in Colombia that you found different from other parts of the world?
Yeah, Colombia is interesting, right? If you guys were to, close your eyes and picture, Sweden, the men and women, it would be tall, beautiful. I'm not into white girls, but for a lot of people, they like that tall, Nordic looking, blue-eyed white girl. Well, what do the men look like? I mean, they're fucking big, jacked, good-looking Vikings as well. No homo. Same with Brazilian guys. Same with Argentinian guys. They're all known to be, again, pause, no homo here, but Brazilian guys are known worldwide to be very sexy. Colombia has, again, pause. Colombia has a weird dichotomy where you have these insanely beautiful local women, but the men are not as such. The women, again, are very feminine, very gorgeous, very beautiful. But the men, on the other hand, are short. They're broke. They have a weird, effeminate affect. They don't work out. They're very abusive to the women. They cheat on them. They physically abuse them. So you have this weird thing where, as a guy, you come in there and you have actually zero local competition. Unfortunately, you also have another thing, which, again, anybody who's in this passport bro space, a large percentage of your audience is probably already aware of this, that there's a massive anti-gringo movement taking place in Medellin right now. Not per se Colombia as a whole, but I'm specifically talking about Medellin. So if someone would say, well, it's not like that in Bucaramanga. Okay, I don't know what Bucaramanga is like, or Barranquilla. There might be some good places. But specifically talking about my experience in Medellin, which is more, 9 out of 10 passport bros who go to Colombia are going to Medellin. You have this very, unfortunate anti-gringo xenophobia, racism, whatever you want to call it. So even though objectively, I would say, foreigner, guys that are taller, more masculine, make more money, treat women better, higher IQ, I would say objectively a better choice. You have most of the women still wanting to get with the local guys. However, even if 4, 5, 6% of the local women still want to date, are still open to dating gringos, it's one of the easiest places that I've seen for, a regular average Jew to get off the plane and start getting hotties would be Medellin.
Wow. Yeah, I can agree with that xenophobia. I kind of felt that when I was out there in Cartagena and Medellin. Not so much Cartagena like it is Medellin, but definitely Medellin. So what strategies do you think are most effective for online dating in a place like Colombia?
In a place like Colombia. So I'll answer that in general, and then I'll specify it to Colombia as well. So remember I talked about you guys are about to learn some revolutionary stuff you've never heard anywhere else. So I'm about to drop the juice. So once upon a time, I was thinking, how can a guy like me, again, very average looking guy, not a super impressive physical specimen, use my personality to get women on a digital space? Because Instagram is usually just photo based, right? And I had a lot of success in person, picking up women, going to bars and nightclubs, 2009, 2010, 2011, with my pickup artist friends, with the Real Social Dynamics guys, because I was very good at using my game and my seduction and my charisma to pick up women. It certainly wasn't my looks that was doing it, right? So it says, how can I replicate this online? And I came up with a concept called charming video content. Okay, so this is something that everyone's going to steal from me. Everyone's going to claim this video it's going to blow up, but you heard it here first, and very few guys are going to capitalize on this. So we can all win big if you take action on this. What charming video content means is you have on your Instagram page, you can even do it on dating apps now, Bumble and Hinge, and I'm not sure about Tinder, but certainly Bumble and Hinge allow you to upload videos with, short videos with full audio. These are little funny skits you can do. There's a lot of ways to be charming. You could be playing guitar in front of a room full of people. You could be accepting an award, but I'm going to focus on humor, and I'll show a quick example. I'll do a quick example right now. So let's say a random woman, she gets followed by me on Instagram, and she's going to check out my page. Who is this random ginger who just followed me? Is he worth following me back? He also liked a bunch of my photos, and who is this guy? So I'm going to kind of reenact a skit. It won't be, as funny as the real one, but here's an example. So pretend a girl watches this skit. So it's like a 20-second video reel pinned to the top, and I go like this. Hey, I have my phone here. I don't know if you can see the phone on the camera. There you go. Say, okay, cool. I'll go. Hey, Alexa, what's the weather going to be like today? Who is Alexa? Oh, I'm sorry, Siri. No, seriously, who is Alexa? It's nobody. Forget about it. Can you please just tell me what's the weather going to be like today? No. Why don't you ask that bitch Alexa for the weather? And then the text says if Siri was Brazilian or if Siri was a Latina, right? And again, it's funner if you actually watch the video. You have the real robot voice and my reactions, but I'm trying to do this on a live, and I don't know, but just trust me. Everybody who sees that, men and women, thinks that's really funny because we've all done that. You call the girl the wrong name or you say a little thing and oh Jesus, now this is a thing. And it's like, like if Siri was Brazilian, right? Girls think that's fucking hilarious. And I have plenty of examples like that. I can maybe, if you want, I can go and teach stuff. I'm talking like you could hold your phone up, say some little funny, one person skit into a phone with good lighting in front of the video, hit record, maybe, add a little bit of music if you want, optional, done. These are easier to produce. It's not about becoming an influencer. And that right there, what I just said, will change your dating life. So pause for a second. A lot of you guys are half paying attention, half thinking, oh, that's kind of cool. No, like listen to what I just said. I'm telling you how, even if you look like this, you don't have big arms, you're not a super good looking guy. Dude, I was balding. I had a hairline that looked like a slice of pizza. People used to say it looked like my hairline was Magneto's helmet from X-Men. And I'm, again, you go to my channel, Redbeard Rants, unlimited receipts of me with 9s and 10s. It's because I am now using personality. I don't have to rely on my looks. Now, to bring it to Medellin and this whole passport movement, because the question was online dating, especially, in Medellin, I have a lot of these in Spanish. So now what does that do? Not only am I showing a charming, funny, interesting personality in Spanish, a lot of girls are fearful of gringos and stuff like that. They think it's funny. They think that we're going to kidnap and rob them. Go figure, right? Hilarious that they think it's 99 to 1 the other way around. But if I have this like charming charisma, and you can record this and do unlimited takes. If your first one, you were nervous, again, this isn't like I'm doing it live. You don't have to do this live. You get unlimited takes. You do it in Spanish. If you can't memorize how to say, Siri, what's the weather like today in Spanish or Portuguese, then you just have low IQ and I feel sorry for you. But you only have to memorize a few things. You're doing this in Spanish, or I guess you're doing this Spanish in Colombia, Portuguese in Brazil. It confirms that you're not a weirdo. You have a sense of humor. You have a little bit of charisma. You're attractive. You got a good personality and you speak the language. So she goes, oh, great. This won't be an awkward Google Translator day. He actually speaks the language because you're showing it off in there. Maybe she thinks your accent is cute. And this took, if I would have my virtual assistant, which we'll talk about more, someone who's logged into my Instagram, following women of my type that I tell him to like in my area, hoping that they'll follow me back so I can message them and go directly to their inbox. And I was to get on average, 2, 3, 4 out of 20 following me back. This doubled it. When I added the charming video content, again, in Spanish or in Portuguese, depending on the country, pinned to the top of my page, that doubled the probability that a random beautiful girl that never met me before would follow me back. And they comment on the videos. And not only that, they're a lot more eager to go out with me because I'm relatable. I'm not just these flat pixels on a screen, but they've seen my delivery. They've seen my sense of humor. And it was that right there is the biggest, gold nugget and like light bulb epiphany that I've ever come up with in this whole, meeting women online thing.
So you said to put Spanish in your bio. What did you say before that?
So the videos, when you do these charming contents, these skits where you're like, Alexa, what's the weather? Oh, sorry, I mean Siri. You do that in Spanish. So you're speaking Spanish, so she knows you speak Spanish. And actually, one or two things I forgot too. Let me emphasize this. A lot of these guys, a lot of these passport bros think it's really cool flex to have like the story highlights. It'll be like, I was in Bali, then I was in France, then I was in Japan, then I went here, then here. You've just said I'm a traveling fuckboy with no long-term potential. So I've
thought that. Yeah.
Traveling fuckboy with no long-term potential. You may get the little party girls, the party sluts, whatever, but you're not going to get the good girls. I date, at least at this point, I'm 36 years old. I'm an old man. I'm dating for, wife, kids, family eventually. So I don't want, the party girls. So you don't want to be perceived as a traveling fuckboy. You also want to put that you live in that city. So in this case, we're talking about Medellin. You want to put that you live in Medellin and quickly get some photos in some very obviously recognizable places in Medellin. So it could be El Peñol, the big rock, La Piedra, La Gran Piedra, whatever it's called, the big rock, in Guatapé, Mamba Negra, which is a restaurant, Ritual, but like all these places will go, oh shit, like he lives in Medellin, right? So show that you live in Medellin with the photos, put it in your bio, and have the charming video content in Spanish, which also confirms that you speak Spanish. Because translator dates are a drag, bro. They really are. I mean, they're cool, better than nothing, better than being with an American chick, I guess. But it's when you can speak the language, bro, it's so much better.
It's more natural. It's more natural. It's more comfortable. So we got a super chat from Anonymous. He sent $10 for what about Instagram ads? I thought Casey was doing that too.
Yeah. So
I think we might get into that later in the video though.
sure. I can answer that now or later whenever you want. I do have an answer for that. We can continue and do that later whenever you want.
Yeah, let's come back to this one because it'll be a part of one of the strategies I bring up. Thank you for the super chat. From your experience, how does the approach in dating American women versus other countries? Like how much easier is it to approach a Colombian or a Brazilian versus an American?
Yeah, I mean, orders of magnitude times easier. I think, I'll make this brief because I think we're all aware of this. There's a very low opinion of men in general in the United States. We can talk about, we can blame feminism and talk about the origins and debate, where did it come from and why did it come from? Let's not even go down that rabbit hole, but it exists. Online, it's very common for women to go on these rants, men are garbage, men are trash, this and that. If you were to take a group of women from, what's a random city? Let's say St. Petersburg, Florida, or Tampa. Let's say Tampa, Florida. And you said, hey, women, go on your Tinder and, rate the men in Tampa, Florida. Now, rate the men in Brazil. They would overwhelmingly say that the men, that these women in Tampa, they would say that the men are more attractive in Brazil. So I have higher competition in Brazil, but why am I doing better? Because again, I have even higher competition in here. I'm not going to a country like the Philippines where I'm taller than everybody and where they worship, white skin and blue eyes. So I'm like, I'm out competing the local guys. No, I do better in Brazil because women are simply not taught to have disdain and hatred towards men. That's literally it. A high tide raises all boats. So even though I have more competition from local guys here, that, because again, trust me, if you took the women and you asked them, are the guys hotter in Brazil or Tampa? They would say Brazil. But it's just a culture, like they just overseas in most countries, maybe not UK or something, but like, Latin America, Asia, Europe, they generally just like men. So it's just easier. Their expectations aren't higher. They don't all want the guy that's, 6'5" and making 500K a year. They're not super demanding, so they're not super entitled. They're just easier, and they just like men.
Okay, I could 100% agree with everything you said. It's something I've been preaching for a while, that they want to be entertained by men. So what are some of the most significant changes that you foresee in the future of global dating in the next few years, especially with everybody being on YouTube promoting dating? Like, do you see anything changing, negative or positive, about that?
So do you mean with the passport movement and dating overseas, or just how dating is going to evolve in general?
Yeah, let's say both. With men traveling outside the United States and just the globalization with the internet in general.
Okay. So with specifically men going overseas, you're going to see this, superpower. You leave your home country and you go to, Sao Paulo, Rio, Medellin, Bangkok, and you took the power up. You got the superstar. You're going to see that diminish a bit because there's just going to be more and more competition. There's going to be more guys going overseas. She's going to have more of a large menu of men to choose from, which is fine, because I also have another thing, which I'll try to make very brief, which is I call my small town strategy. What the small town strategy means is basically that even overseas, in Brazil, Rio, Sao Paulo, these girls are used to tall, good-looking, wealthy men. Any girl in any big city, I don't care if it's, Nigeria. There's a lot of rich people in Nigeria. Some of these neighborhoods in Nigeria are more luxurious. Might look better than Beverly Hills. A 10 in Nigeria, which is Africa, is still going to be entitled and spoiled if she's a true 9 or 10. With the small town strategy, in Lagos, let me actually make that clear. In Lagos, the capital, that 9 would be spoiled. That same Nigerian woman, or she could be Ethiopia, whatever, Belize, whatever, in a small city is not going to be nearly entitled. I'm going to make an extreme example of this, and I'll try to keep it as PG as I can for YouTube. But men in the coastal cities of Colombia, this is a true fact. You guys can Google this. Vice did a documentary on this. But men to this day in these small towns outside of Barranquilla and Cartagena in Colombia, men, they get intimate with donkeys. Let's just call that. They engage in intimate relations with donkeys. So if I was to go in there, I'm not Calvin Klein supermodel. I'm not George Clooney. I don't have 10 million in the bank. But is she going to choose me, or Juan Carlos, was intimate with a donkey last night, right? So, and then that's the most extreme example. But I'm just saying, as the passport bro movement gets bigger and the big hubs, which are Bangkok, Medellin, Sao Paulo, Rio, get more and more saturated, guys are still going to be able to win by engaging in the small town strategy where, they're more boring. Maybe the people there are more simple. You may not have the same level of interesting conversations you would, but you can still win big by engaging in the small town strategy, just because they don't have high value guys. They just don't. Small cities just don't have endless, big, good looking helicopter, private jet, millionaire playboys, whereas most big cities do, regardless of the country. And then, do you want to comment on that? And I'll go to the second part.
Yeah, no, I would agree. So then that was about us traveling. And then the next one was globalization. So what do you think eventually worldwide the internet may catch the rest of the world up to the dating scene, how it is in the States?
So here's what I think is going to happen. All the stuff that I teach, put it this way, like you wouldn't want to invest in a map making company right now because we have GPS. You wouldn't want to invest in a newspaper company right now. So there's certain markets that are dying and there's certain markets that are growing. Meeting and learning how to meet women online, how to create what I call an attractive or high status profile, learning how to get good at making charming video content. This is the future. This is how you're going to be able to beat everybody out. It's going to go more and more virtual online. I mean, eventually what this shit is going to be, unfortunately, is like virtual nightclubs. You're wearing what are the stupid goggles called? The Oculus? Is that what it's called? The, you know what I'm talking about, the virtual reality. We're going to get to some weird stuff in the future. So I'd say, I hope I'm answering this right. If I'm not, you can kind of specify, but the future of dating is just going more and more online, more and more virtual. We're going to be more addicted to our phones. We're going to be more, it sounds so sad, bro, but like in many ways, and this is debatable, but in many ways, you are not even, how do you pronounce, is it Holloman, Austin Holloman or Holman? Holloman. You're not even Austin Holloman. You're the avatar, the pixelated avatar on Instagram. That is your online resume. It's like when you apply for a job, let's use, me, Casey Redbeard. Do they care who Casey Redbeard is? Or do they care what Casey Redbeard's resume is? If it says, I worked at Google, I worked at Microsoft, head engineer at OpenAI, it's not even the man, it's the resume. And unfortunately, your Instagram, your social media accounts that are your resume, we're becoming like our little like video game characters. We're almost like a big online RPG, and it's sad in many ways, but there's advantages to it too. Like I can outsource my entire online dating life and wake up with fresh leads brought to me by a virtual assistant. We can talk about that more, but it's going to get really, really weird, man.
I would agree. It's getting to that point of they actually need to put some limitations on how far that stuff goes, if you ask me. But could you discuss the concept? And this is something that my audience, I go back and forth about, and I see some people just asked about it. You're familiar with choosing signals and code approaching, right?
Does that mean that the girl shows interest right away? Like she had a positive reaction?
Like choosing signals is a chick checking you out, or a chick waving or smiling at you, or repeatedly glancing over at you, waving at you. She's giving you a green light to come talk to her, or she's showing interest in a clear way. Cold approaching is just like cold calling in sales. It's like she may not notice you. You see her though, and you just walk up and introduce yourself. Is cold approaching. Mm-hmm. So, and what are your preferences, and like how do you use each one in a social context? Like in a party, are you more choosing signals, or are you cold approaching?
So when you're like a 5 or a 6 out of 10 at best, and you only want to date 8.5s and above, you get very few choosing signals. I may get choosing signals from the girls that I don't like. And listen, I have high standards. A 7 for me is probably what most guys consider to be an 8 or an 8.5. 7s are cute as fuck. So if I see a 7 and she's giving me choosing signals, I can probably count on my hands the number of times that's happened. I think if you look like, Austin or maybe some other people in your audience, you may get more choosing signals. Also depends where you go, right? If I go to the Philippines, I'm going to get the choosing signals a lot more than you. If we go to the Nordic countries, if we go to Finland, they're going to form a single file line for you and they're going to give two shits about me, right? So it depends, geographically where you're located. I'd say if you get choosing signals, don't be a bitch and act on them. But put it this way, as a 5 out of 10 or 6 at the best, whatever you want to call me, who only wants to date, 8s and above, if I was relying on choosing signals from every girl before I go talk to her, I'd probably be good for, 2 approaches a year.
Yeah, yeah. And that choosing signals aren't for everybody. And like you said, it depends on where you're at. But even if I think the only place where you can rely on choosing signals is Brazil. Like it seemed like when I was in Brazil, like they were just very open about if they liked you. I haven't been anywhere else in the world that came that close to Brazil. So, but there's plenty of times where chicks, they're just too shy to show you interest. But if you talk to them, if you cold approach them, well, I guess in your mind it's a cold approach, but it's not really because she already saw you. But they'll be, they'll cooperate with you and get to know you. So yeah, okay, I'm glad we got that out the way because some people wanted to know about this. So how is displaying multiple women in your photos on social media platforms impacted your dating life?
Yeah, so to be clear, the Redbeard Rants 1 Instagram, that's strictly like a red pill dating coach, Instagram. That's not what I use for dating. So I don't do it a lot. Women, first of all, I don't think it's necessary. I think it's a bonus to have beautiful women in some of your photos to kind of check a box. And listen, if you're like a gorgeous 10 out of 10 guy and you get a bunch of professional photos, shirtless photos on the beach, and you're just young and handsome and you have only solo shots, no group shots, no fun activities, and you go to a fairly easy dating market, you're going to crush regardless. But like the older you are, the less good looking you are, the more you have to build it around lifestyle. It becomes more important. And I'd say the correct way to do this would be to have, you're at a nice dinner or you guys are sitting down somewhere at a table, like maybe like a brunch where there's like, some champagne or something. And it's like you, your other buddies next to you, maybe even another guy. And then there's like clearly 2 beautiful girls at the table, but you're not with them. You're not next to them. You certainly don't have your arm around them or touching them in any sexual way. And then these beautiful girls add value to the photo, because if you're trying to date beautiful girls, well, other beautiful girls know the reality of like the amazing events they get invited to, the promoters, the options they have, and they go, just even within your universe, within your world, even if she wasn't on a date with you, but just the other guys in your network, if there's just beautiful women in your world that could be with you, that could not be with you, they're just in the photo somewhere, place somewhere, that's gonna like, oh shit, kind of get her attention. Now, is it absolutely necessary? How much value does it bring? Depends on a lot of things. I would say I would put more importance on getting something like that. If again, you're that older guy and you have, not good looking, maybe a little chubby, and you have to build up more around lifestyle. But if you're a good looking, in shape cat, if you can, confidently post a physique photo and it looks good, it could boost a little bit, but it's certainly not like an essential thing.
So I don't know if you went through my Instagram or not. Do you think, because I have a few, not a lot of photos, but I have a few photos with me with some friends, some female friends that I've had around the world and some women I've dated. Do you think that using those type of photos lowers the quality of women? I know you said beautiful women, but I'm talking about like women that are looking for a serious relationship. Do you think they may be turned off by seeing a lot of women on your profile?
I do. Yeah. I definitely do. There's a subset of women that they really like to be, maybe they're just so used to guys chasing them. They almost like to have a little game where they're like the ones that, can come try to seduce you. And if they feel like there's other competition for women, it can be like this fun little like validating thing. But then maybe, they get you and then the chase is over and then they lose interest. But again, I would say yes. When I was dating and when I was living in Colombia, I had a lot of my parties on there. I was promoting parties. I think we're going to talk about that in a second. My little, media shitstorm in Colombia due to the parties. But yeah, I can definitely say that it noticeably attracted a worse quality of woman. You know what I can relate it to? It's kind of a funny thing. Just like a random analogy. One time when I went to, I was in Las Vegas for Halloween. And I don't know why I did this. I just thought it was fucking hilarious. I dressed in a Halloween costume as a giant penis. I was just in this big penis costume. And every girl wanted to come up to me and they thought it was so funny. And I was just getting so much attention. They would take photos with me. And then I'd be like, and then they take the photo and then scram, take the photo and then scram. And I'd be like, wait, like, don't you want to talk? And like, I try to like flirt them, but like, bro, I can't talk to you. You're dressed as a giant penis. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, I think it immediately makes you dressed up like a giant penis, or so to speak. It's like, he may be fun, he may be exciting, it may help for like one night, stands, but it really depends on the girl. And, if she really likes you, it may not ruin the whole thing. But I think like if you're specifically looking for, a truly feminine, good girl, no tattoos, not a single mom, etc., all these things that we like, submissive, it would behoove you to remove those photos and videos, I think.
Okay. I could understand that because I've been thinking about that. I'm like, oh, I wonder could the intentions of some of these women I've attracted, because I've attracted many, many, many women with posting beautiful women in my photos and videos. But I wonder the mental quality, like their mindset, the good girls. But then again, I mean, really, that shit's not important to me right now, because why would I? It's good to learn, but I'm gonna get a good girl, and then 30 days later, I'll be gone for 6 months. Like I had some chicks that thought I was coming back to Kenya. That was 8 months ago. There's no telling when I'm gonna be back over there.
And how old are you again?
25. I'll be 25 Thursday.
Oh, you're a young fucker, dude. Yeah, I'm 36. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe when I get older, it'll be better for me to look like I'm just traveling around and trying food and stuff like that. But for right now, I think what's working is working.
I would get a separate Instagram for dating. Like if you know you're going to have Brazil as a hub or whatever, Philippines, I would get a separate Instagram that's just for the Philippines. All your photos are in the Philippines. You maybe say a few, like the equivalent of like, I don't know, what's like an English, a funny, like if I said, oh, yo fam, no cap, but you said like the Tagalog version of like no cap or like whatever, they'd be like, oh shit, how did he know how to say that? That's so cute. How did he learn that? So you have like, you could have content for each country. But do you want like a long-term relationship, or you just want to be a traveling fuckboy for a while?
I think I'm gonna be a traveling fuckboy for a while, because like I still have like another 20 countries I want to go to in the next 2 years, man. And I don't really see myself staying somewhere for like there's no point in me looking for a relationship. I still got a lot of women I want to meet. Is
two things on that. You could either do the traditional, red pill, one-sided open relationship, open for you, closed for her. That's one solution. Or two, man, I mean, and I've talked about this a lot before in my other videos. I think there's two like ultimate flexes for different chapters in your life. I think that let's call it 18 to 25, 26, whatever years old flex, depending on what you want, depending on the guy, it could be perhaps clubbing, staying up all night, drinking, bottle service, hangover. You fuck this girl, you fuck that girl, threesomes, crazy. Oh, condom fell off. Whoops, YOLO, da 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 da. Right? That's like you're popping bottles, Rolexes. That's like the young man flex. And then what I'm looking forward to is what I would call the ultimate flex, which is just a loving family, just a rocket, hot, sexy, obedient wife that loves you and follows your lead, and you love her, and well-behaved, perfect kids, and you just have a house of love. And I think that's the ultimate flex for long-term happiness. And I'm definitely going more towards that. And it depends on the guy. If you want to stay young and put your dick in beautiful women to the day you die, I mean, shit, if that's my lot in life, it could be a lot worse too, So I think it just all depends on where you're at and what you want.
Yeah, I think I'll need a little more time to go around and continue meeting different nationalities of women. And then maybe my Instagram will change one day. But for right now, I'm not even going to switch it up to make it look like I'm the person that I may be in 15 years. So could you tell us about the incident in Medellin where you were ostracized for throwing parties? And what did you what did you learn from that?
How much time do we have? I'll try to give the concise version of this. I could talk for 2 hours on this. So once upon a time, I decided, going on a one-on-one date is cool, but sometimes the girl's really boring. Sometimes I don't like her personality. Sometimes they flake and you're just alone on corn hub on a Saturday night because your girl flaked. So I said, what if I just dated, 20, 30, 40, 50 girls in a single night rather than just a one-on-one date? How can I do that? Oh, I can throw a party. Kind of got inspiration from my friend Patrick Red, who's doing this. Shout out to Coach Patrick Red. He was doing it through Instagram ads. Reminder, we can come back to the Instagram ads thing. He was doing Instagram ads for parties. He was my inspiration. He helped me in the beginning. And I started posting Instagram ads for parties. So I would target 18 to 26-year-old women in Medellin. I would post a vertical reel of, just like some sick penthouse party. In the end, I was just stealing footage from Patrick. Then quickly I had enough of my own videos. I was boosting videos of my own parties, build up a big list, either, rent some venue or get a friend who had a penthouse and just shove, 60, 70, 80 girls into a penthouse. Did as best as I could to keep the hookers out. Let's say they're probably 80 to 90% non-hookers, which is the best you can fucking do for that city. That's like a miracle. If you could do 50-50, that's already impressive. But I did, for the vast majority non-hookers, 80 girls plus, 25, 30 guys maybe in a penthouse. And they were good times. A lot of these can be seen. If you go to my YouTube, Redbeard Rants, and you click my most popular video, you go to my videos, organize my most popular. That most popular video is it's like B-roll. It's like 15-minute B-roll of like Colombia booty shaking at, 4-to-1, 5-to-1 ratio penthouse parties. And that was a lot of fun until some feminists on Twitter saw what I was doing and they didn't take too kindly to it. At around the same time, some random gringo killed his sugar baby. He had some sugar baby. It was this DJ bitch in Bogota. She was completely using and abusing him and disrespecting him, and he murdered her. Now, I don't think because you cheat on somebody and you belittle some man and talk shit about him and embarrass him, I don't think that warrants you being murdered, for the record. But that's what was going on. So she got murdered, and it was a terrible tragedy. And this created a huge anti-gringo propaganda wave, the whole country, which is funny because they kill us for sport. I think how many gringos have died in Medellin in the last 90 days?
It's been a lot. It's been a lot. I've heard of 10 in 2 months, and that was just all that was reported.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's probably Americans, foreigners, and it's probably double that if you include all foreigners. So kind of funny that, we kill one of them. It creates an endless, shitstorm, anti-gringo propaganda, yet they kill us 200-to-1. But I was just the next target. They're like, first we have this guy who killed this DJ bitch. Now we got this other gringo throwing parties. And you know what? I bet you all the girls are underage. I bet you he's getting them on drugs. I bet you he's just a pimp. I bet you. It was all I bet you. They had zero proof or evidence that I was doing anything nefarious because I wasn't. But as we know, the media is not big on evidence and honor, truth. These things are not big in the world of media, in Colombian media or American media. So they made up a bunch of lies and said, oh yeah, all the girls are underage and he's their pimp and blah, 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 blah. It got so big that I was, getting millions of views on Twitter. There were TikToks about me, Instagram reels about me. I was covered on all the major press. I was in their Colombian version of LA Times, New York Times. This would be El Colombiano, El Espectador, El Tiempo, all their biggest publications. I even had the mayor of Medellin make a tweet about me. And I became, for a good 5 to 10 days, I was the most famous man in the country. I was more famous than J Balvin and Maluma, whatever. I was the talk of the town. And it was not good. There were a lot of real life consequences. There were times where I had to, fear for my life. I was, getting banned from all types of venues, was getting recognized in the streets. But in the end, I held my ground. I stayed there. A lot of people say, he got ran out of the country. He got ran out. He's banned from Colombia. I didn't get. First of all, what does it mean to get run out? They had pitchforks, the old cartoons. They have the flame. Oh, let's run him. I got ran out of town. I didn't get run out of town. Nothing happened. It was a bunch of, lying feminists on Twitter. And what happened? Yeah. Lying feminists on Twitter. I stood my ground. I stayed there. I can go back anytime I want. I will go back just to prove the idiots that think I'm banned from Colombia, the fucking morons. I am not banned from Colombia. I will go back there within the next 6 months just to prove it. And I stood my ground and I threw more parties, and my parties were bigger and better than ever. It was what's the Jordan Belfort, I'm not fucking leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. That scene from Wolf of Wall Street. It was some shit that. Yeah. And then I stayed there for 9 months. But then because of, I just found, the women in Medellin to be getting more trashy, more and more low IQ, more and more addicted to that drug 2C that they do. the anti-gringo wave. So I just came to Brazil, where I found women to be, you know, both beautiful, feminine, and a lot more intelligent, have better values. They don't ask you for money, not a lot of, you know, pay for play culture here. Like virtually every beautiful girl in Medellin is doing some form of pay for play, whether it's in person or OnlyFans. So that was my incident. And, you know, I left when I was ready. They didn't run me out. They didn't kick me out. I stayed there for another 8 months after the shitstorm, and I left when I was good and ready on my terms.
So did they insist? Because I know when I had my situation, it was like they insisted like I committed some crime. Like the crime I committed was sex tourism, which is not a crime. You know, it's not a crime, and nor was I promoting that. But did they insist that you actually committed a crime? Well, you said that they said the girls were underage or something like that. That's what they insisted.
They said that I was a pimp. They said the girls were underage. They said I was a drug dealer and I was selling drugs there. They said I was, you know, trafficking. They had everything except the actual evidence and testimonials and witnesses, which, fortunately, a little thing called evidence is a little bit important in charging someone with a crime. So no, I was never charged with a crime because it was just propaganda written by no actual Colombian woman came forward and said, you know, Casey assaulted me, or I was underage and I went to his parties, or Casey sold me drugs, or Casey made me be his hoe. He was my pimp. No girl actually did that because it never actually happened. But yeah, someone commented guilty until proven innocent. It was like that. And you learn the hard way too. People in other countries are very sensitive to foreigners coming in and dating their women. They really are. And what was your thing too? Could you give me the short version of yours too? I think you were doing interviews on the beach and you asked girls if they like big dicks or something like that. And that was oh my God, how dare, was that what it was? Was that your major crime?
So the video that went viral that had the whole thing start up was I was on the beach with a woman that spoke English. And I just asked her, because in Brazil, you know, they kiss you immediately, it seems like. So I asked her that, like, hey, how soon would you kiss him? Oh, right away. I was like, okay, so how soon would you go home with him? I pushed it with that one, but I did ask her, and she was like, oh, if I have time right away. So I was like, see, that's why you should get your passports. And so they took that as like he's promoting. They said I was promoting pride, and I even said, see, you can date beautiful women like this in Brazil, and the date will only cost like $20. But because they know the people that spoke English that were in Brazil would twist it to the people that they knew didn't speak English, like, he's saying our women cost $20. But if you read it, I'm talking about a date would cost $20. I didn't. Why the hell would I openly just promote prostitution like that? You know, why would I do, especially if I plan to live there? So that got all in the news and stuff. And they had it on Global and CNN. And they were saying I was under investigation for what really is what I was trying to figure. Like, what was the actual crime? Like, I said something nasty, you know, I said something that wasn't what you wanted to hear, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's in there. Even when CNN posted on their Instagram, there were even Brazilians on my side in the comments like, but is he really lying about what he's saying? I'm like, you know, what is the crime? You know, so eventually I'm going to have to go back too, because people are saying the same thing. He's banned. They say I'm banned from a lot of places. I've never been officially banned from anywhere, nor was I notified by any government. No email, no call, no letters, nothing. You know, I was never notified. The closest I got to being notified was my landlord told me in Salvador Bahia that the police came to question me. That was the closest. Did you ever have any incidents where the law enforcement tried to get in contact with you?
No, zero.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess maybe they took mine a little more serious. But yeah, they tried to do that, but I had to go back just to prove otherwise to myself. So what would you say you learned from that experience?
Well, what I just said, people are very,
sensitive?
very sensitive. And you know, another thing I learned is isn't that you know, I don't know if I could say his name, Tate, Mr. Tate, the one who should not be named. He talks about this. When a man, not always, but typically most men who reach a certain level of status, money, and the keyword is fame, you have to be on social media or in some, way famous, is going to get an assault charge, a grape charge. Like how many athletes, how many NBA players, how many football players? They're talking, what's his name? Russell Branson. I think that's like the actor, right? They're attacking him now, I believe, if I said his name right. Is it Russell Brand or Russell Branson? No, yeah, not Branson, Russell Brand, I think. The guy with the long hair, he was a comedian first, skinny guy, kind of dresses like a rocker. But my point. And they do that on Turbo in foreign countries. They really are just sensitive to foreigners coming in. They think that we think I'm taller, I have more money, my US dollar, I'm better than these people. I'm just going to take all the girls. These lower people are just my playthings and I can just treat them because I'm an American and we're better. That's what they think, that we think that. But it's the opposite. We're trying to show the best of it. We're trying to say, look, you don't have to date fat, entitled women in America. The women here are great. They're beautiful. They're feminine. If they like you, they'll kiss you right away. They may even go home with you right away. A date to take her out, the beach of Rio, go out to the beach, get some caipirinhas, may only cost you $20. She's not demanding that you take her to the 5-star restaurant. So we're trying to paint it in a good light. But of course, here's an American coming here doing nice things, doesn't generate a lot of views and advertisement and clicks. This gringo coming here, he's so bad, generates a lot of controversy, generates a lot of, like I said, the media is not big on integrity. I wouldn't say integrity and media go hand in hand exactly. So that's what I'd say I learned.
I would agree. So yeah, they have to have an enemy at all times, it seems like, just to get the clicks and views. So how do you utilize virtual assistants to enhance your presence and interactions on Instagram?
Yeah, so we were talking about, the advantages of online, and let me make an analogy. Let's say this is 1985. I'll make a weird analogy. So this is 1985 and I'm a stockbroker in New York. I have an identical twin and I'm doing well because I'm a stockbroker, but my twin is just, I don't know, he's in and out of rehab. He's not doing well. He needs some money. So I say, okay, identical twin, I'm going to pay you to go out to bars, restaurants, the streets, and just pick up women. You're very smooth, get phone numbers. And then identical twin talks to the women, flirts with the women, gets the phone numbers, brings them to me, and I actually go on the date with them. I can make deals all day, close deals all day. He's out getting the phone numbers. He brings the phone numbers to me. Wouldn't that be great if we all had an identical, copy and paste twin of us that could go out and, flirt with women on our behalf and bring them to me? But sadly, we don't have that. Or actually, we do if you do it in a digital landscape. When a girl gets a follow from me on Instagram, she has no idea if I clicked the follow button or if my Filipino virtual assistant clicked the follow button. So rather than me having to trade my time for money, I have an asset, my attractive profile. It goes like this, right? We talked about the resume example. We can do it with let's do it with the resume again, right? Building a high status profile is kind of like building your resume on LinkedIn. Either it says you worked at Google and Microsoft, or it says you did a 6-month internship at a small agency in Kurzbekistan, right? So you have to have the high status profile, photos, friends, doing fun activities, dressed well in luxurious locations, and above all, like we talked about, the charming video content. And then once you have that, it's just simply a question of getting eyeballs to that profile. Dating apps, you can run Instagram ads. Maybe we have to come back to that. But it's just getting traffic to that. If anybody's in digital marketing, it's like you have a good landing page. Once you have a good converting landing page, you just have to send traffic to it. Or, and it's a lot of work in the beginning, right? It's like a rental property. You got to find a good property. You got to install a new kitchen, remodel it, paint the fucking thing, get a good property management company in there. Maybe you put, 50 grand into rehabbing the property. But once you do that one time, maybe a little upkeep here and there, you get a good tenant in there. Now that property just produces cash flow. Well, that's what I have. The online dating virtual. I don't know if you think, again, I'm not Warren Buffett. I'm not, Gary Vaynerchuk or Elon Musk. I'm not the most high powered, busy Jeff Bezos entrepreneur, but I'm a pretty fucking busy guy. And even a guy at my level, of income, if you think I have the time to open this guy up and go, oh, I'm swiping for 30 minutes on Bumble. Oh, swipe away, swipe away. I'm not writing YouTube scripts. I'm not outreaching to people to do content. I'm not doing coaching calls. I'm not doing sales calls. I'm swiping on the Bumble. Oh, close that. No, I'm going to swipe for 30 minutes on Tinder. And not only am I going to swipe for 30 minutes on Tinder, I'm going to grab the Instagram bios from the Tinder thing. I'm going to organize in a Google Sheet. I'm going to keep track of who I followed and who followed me back and unfollow the girls that didn't follow me. And blah, 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 blah. As if I have the time to fucking do that. I'm going to outsource it for $5 an hour. So now I wake up every day. There could be 3, 4, 5 matches across the dating apps. There could be 4, 5, 6 new beautiful girls on Instagram that followed me back. And now that we follow each other, there's no hidden request folder. I send a message, she gets it. I can even open up with a voice note or a video first, which if you don't follow each other, you can't just send a video or a voice note. And one thing I want to say too, some guys might be thinking, well, shit, why do I need all this volume? You know, why do I need an online, why do I need to match with 4, 5, 6 girls, you know, on Bumble? Or why do I need to, you know, have all these girls on my Instagram? Well, a couple of reasons. Just because I match with 6 or 7 girls doesn't mean they all respond. A lot of these girls ghost me. A lot of these girls don't even respond to the first message. Just because a girl followed me on Instagram or we matched on an app doesn't mean she's like, well, we matched on the app, so we must be going out now. So a lot of them flake. Or I find out a lot of them are boring. I don't like their personality. And especially a guy like me who's not super physically attractive, but likes to date super physically attractive people, I need a lot of volume, because what percentage of 9s and 10s are going to look at this face and say, oh, come to mama. I like the wrinkles and the eye bags and well, I don't have it anymore, but like I used to have the weird headline or hairline and, you know, the pale transparent skin. It's very uncommon that a true 9 is going to look at me and like start salivating and saying, come to mama. But I have so much fucking volume that eventually, well, go to my YouTube channel. The results speak for themselves.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Uncle Luke, 1980, sent $10 for A. Casey and Austin. I've been waiting on this collab for some time. Educate the uneducated, my friends. As a guy who's had both Western and foreign women, foreign is best. Thank you very much for the super chat. I would agree. So what would you say is your budget? You said $5 an hour. What would you say is your budget for, or what would you recommend somebody start off with a budget for the virtual assistants to do this?
Yeah, I pay them about $350 a month.
Okay, that's not bad. I think I might consider doing that, because that would save me a lot of time.
If you're swiping on apps rather than reaching out to people to collab with, writing scripts, vlogging, finding new restaurants to go to, finding new dates to go, this is what generates you revenue. This is your meal ticket. The toughest thing, and I can help you with this, is really, really getting on the same page with your virtual assistant about what you like, because it's going to take them a bit to understand. You know, I say, you know, from transparent white to dark black, from really skinny to curvy to obese, from, you know, dark eyes to light eye, you know, short hair, is that a deal breaker? Are tattoos a deal breaker? But once you get that, once, you know, all the leads they bring you are 80, they'll never bat 100%, but once they're batting about 80% and you're constantly tweaking and putting better content on the profile so it produces better, makes their life easier, life is on easy mode, bro. You just don't have, like, no one could ever have a dating problem, whether you want to smash a bunch of girls or whether you want a high quality girlfriend or wife, if you're just meeting a ton of women. What if you take a guy, Austin, what if you were, instead, not this, young, cool, charismatic cat. What if you were kind of an introvert and you were chubby, but you had a roommate who was a promoter and he was just bringing girls by the crib every Friday, Saturday night? 4 beautiful girls, 4 beautiful girls, 4 beautiful girls every week, girl after girl. Even though we're talking about not you, the shy, chubby version of you, even though you're fucking it up with the majority of these women, it's just like, if you can engineer, if you just meet women. Now, you know, one way is you could become a DJ at a nightclub and you're getting invited to the after parties, you're DJing at the club, or you become the president of your fraternity and you're planning the events with the sororities. But I just don't think that all of us are going to become presidents of our fraternities, considering a lot of us are in our 30s or 40s. But the high status profile that's attracted to women with good photography and charming video content plus a virtual assistant, this is the only system that I know that's literally repeatable for every guy.
Okay, I'm gonna have to implement that a lot, especially with the virtual assistant and doing the charming content, because I put some of my stuff on my Instagram is controversial, but we'll get back into that. So My next question was, what are some effective techniques you recommend for attracting women through Instagram? But you've kind of been talking about that the entire time. So what role do professional photographers play in your strategy? Because I know they have some role to a degree, correct?
Yeah. So let me put it to you like this. Samsung Galaxy Ultra 23, 24, iPhone, 14, 15 are fucking incredible now. And I will talk about this. This is relevant to the conversation. The key to taking a good photo is lighting. What is, yeah, I say this all the time. How am I blanking this? Lighting, fashion, grooming, location. So lighting, is there good lighting, meaning lights coming on in front of you? Fashion, are you well dressed? Grooming, did you get the neck hairs and stuff like that? Are you well groomed, the haircut? And then location, are you in a luxurious location? So rooftop lounge, by a pool, on a beach, nice restaurant. If you're doing photos like these, let me see if I can find it. Oh shit, I don't have it. Okay. I can find it in 2 seconds. I'll show it. If not, okay, screw it. What I tell everybody to buy, who's on my YouTube channel or one of my students, it's called a clip-on LED phone light. What I'm holding up now is a cell phone. This is not a clip-on LED phone light, but my clip-on LED phone light looks exactly like this. So you got like a tripod thing or something. Yeah. So basically,
I have one on my tripod.
oh, there you go. Yeah, you see that? It's not like that, but it's kind of like that. It's somewhere in my room, whatever. It's not super important. But again, this is a cell phone, but a clip-on LED light kind of looks like this. And then light would just come out of here. I press a button, light comes out of here, and it clips onto a phone. So you can get great nighttime photos. So if you have a guy who at least kind of sort of knows what he's doing and you're going around these luxurious locations, you don't need a professional photographer. However, it's definitely nice to have at least a few of these professional photos to pin at the top. There's something about a photo being shot in good lighting on, let's say, 150 millimeter lens. Don't worry about what these terms mean, DSLR or 150 millimeter lens. Don't worry about what that means. But when it's in really good lighting, when it has a really sharp focus, and when it's a portrait photo, meaning you're in sharp focus and the background behind you is blurry, anybody can look good looking. I don't know what it is. Lens distort you, right? Like, I don't know if I like, I don't know, do something weird. Like if I talk to you like here, it like distort. I don't look as good looking. Like I look weird. I don't know. I'm not showing the best example, but different millimeter and focal lengths of lens can kind of distort your face. Digital cameras give the most favorable, like they see kind of what the human eye looks like. Cell phones kind of distort your face, give you almost like a slight fish-like appearance. I would have a couple of those pinned to the top, really good, really crisp lighting. You're in focus, background blurry, you're looking sharp. And I'd have a couple on there so the girl can clearly see, like, because if she's deciding to go out with you, she wants to know, okay, what does his face actually look like? Like, is he fuckable? That's going to give you the best chance of looking like a good looking guy, at least a couple of those. From there on, I would say, as long as it's iPhone 14, 15, Galaxy 23, 24, cell phone photography with good motherfucking lighting. No cell phone flash. You got to get the little light panel, like he showed his little selfie stick, or again, I don't know where it is in here, but again, imagine if this thing clipped onto a cell phone and shot light out of it. It clips on and it shoots light. It's just go to Amazon, LED clip-on phone light. They're $25. I think I've through friends and recommendations sold over 100 of these. They're life-changing. All your nighttime photos will look crisp as fuck.
Okay, so let me ask you this: is your virtual assistant, is it a female or a male?
It was a female. I fired her. Now I have a male. She did great in the beginning. Then she got really lazy and I had to fire her. I now have a male, but I might have to replace him too. Honestly, it's a bit hard to find people who agree with what you agree with on what a hot woman is, especially because I like brown. I like indigenous brown, big booty, traditional Latinas, and all these guys from the Philippines are like white worshipers. So it's about, I'm like, I said no blondes. They're like, no, but she's so beautiful. I'm like, bro, how many times I got to tell you? But yeah, I should hire people from there's no real super poor white countries that worship brown girls. I wish there was one. I would hire from there.
Okay. That makes sense. So I think, I don't know. The issue I could see with having a man, and not besides you might not have the same taste in women, but do you think they ever might like throw some salt in the game on you, or they might purposely fuck up?
The virtual assistant?
Yeah.
No, because if they fuck up, they get fired and they don't eat and they can't pay rent and they're homeless.
I guess when you look at it like that, because I always thought like, man, what if they just perform poorly? So, in your view, what are some common misconceptions people have about dating foreign women versus American women? For example, the whole green card, or they just want you for money bullshit.
Yeah, most foreign women don't want to leave their country. That's actually going to be a problem. I'm looking to, well, I don't know. It's feasible that maybe one day I want to ultimately raise my children in the US, which is something we can talk about later. And it actually, it's going to be a hassle to bring a Brazilian or a whatever Mexican, who knows, to the US. Immigration is long, and they don't want to leave. They don't want your green card. They prefer a rich guy to maybe stay there with them, but they don't all want to go to the US. But okay. Two misconceptions. Yeah, I would say yeah, one is that they all line up for you for a green card. I would say the other two misconceptions go on polar opposites. On one end of the spectrum, guys think that, yeah, just because I have blue eyes and an orange beard, I'm going to go to XYZ Latina country and they're all going to form a single file line for me because I'm white and have blue eyes, or because I'm black and athletic and tall and this and that. The sixes may line up for you. It's always difficult to get 7.5s, 8s, and above. Again, if we're talking, Lagos, Nigeria to, I don't know, Taiwan, whatever random place, the truly beautiful women are not going to line up for you. Cute girls, Philippines. I've heard that, Austin, can you verify this is true? I heard that the Nordic countries, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, that they just like worship good looking black guys there. Is that true? Has your experience confirmed that?
I've known a lot of people that have been to Sweden, Finland, Norway, and Denmark, and they all say that. Like, if you're black and you go out there, you're a celebrity.
Okay. So, there may be certain instances, but, maybe a lot of these black guys are like, oh, I went to Finland and that was a celebrity. It's very likely he was still getting 7.5s, which are beautiful. I would maybe even consider marriage the 7. No, I'm lying. I'm too much of a superficial bastard. I want an 8 or higher. But anywhere like, so yeah, anyway, just to summarize, a misconception one is that you're just this normal plain average guy and you're going to get like 9s and 10s super easily. Or on the other end of the spectrum, they don't realize how much easier it's going to be. So either on one end they think, oh, it's going to be so easy, I'm going to get all the 10s, or on the other end they're like, it's not going to be that much easier. Women are women. It's not going to solve all my dating problems just by taking a passport. In many cases, it will. The passport pill is powerful. I would say, if a guy, I don't know if this is anybody in the audience or just if I'm just speaking to a random guy, but I would be very realistic and say, listen, if you're 45 and chubby and you make 40 grand a year and you're stuck in your job and you're probably never going to make much more than 40 or 50 grand a year. And like I said, you're 45 and chubby, I would go to a small town where you could easily pick up a 7, a city you've never heard of, and just call it a life and just be happy with her. And that'll be that. Don't worry, about getting, a 9 or a 10. And also, on the other spectrum, don't doubt the power of it either. So that's what I say. Either they doubt the power of it or they think there's too much power would be the misconceptions. And like you said, that they're all interested in a green card.
Yeah. But we're pretty much past those debates. I've debated with people for 2 years and it's just like, fuck it. If they don't believe it, they don't believe it. But so how do you adapt your dating approach when you move to a new country? Like, first day you touch down, or do you pregame, or what is your strategy when you're going somewhere new? If I were to drop you off in, let's say Germany, what would be your instant strategy?
Yeah. So ideally, before I got dropped off, I would unleash the online dating virtual assistant there for about 10 days to build up a pipeline for 10 days. And I would instantly change my Instagram account to say that I lived in Germany. Not that I'm passing through Germany. No, I would say that I live in fucking Germany. I would quickly get photos in whatever are, landmarks, famous restaurants, famous places in Germany. And I would like post these photos of me in Germany. And I would try to get some charming, witty, funny video content that is relative to Germany. Either have maybe it be in German, if I can memorize, a short, quick sentence. Again, these like skits that I do, these funny skits that I do for my clients, these are made for like people that are like autistic and want the easiest thing. I'm not giving them these long scripts. So I would either put something in German of me speaking in German, or I would do it in English, but it would be relevant to the German sense of humor. So an example of Colombia is they make fun of gringos that wear shorts and sandals. So if there's like a German equivalent to like, you know, oh, they perceive foreigners as, you know, doing such and such, I would do a funny video about that such and such. They're like, oh, he gets it. It's the German sense of humor, if that made sense. It's their equivalent of like the sandals and shorts, you know. That would be a thing. Again, yeah. So say I live there, get photos of me living there, and get some charming content that's relevant to them or in German, and then again unleash the virtual assistant there, 10 days before going.
Okay, so this is kind of going over everything you've said so far. I'm not done with the questions though. But what advice would you give to someone who's considering moving abroad, primarily for dating opportunities? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So this is a big one. I actually have a whole video about this. There is a dark side to being a passport bro. The light side or the good side of being a passport bro is what all the things that we've been talking about. The feminine, beautiful women that are easier to obtain, have lower standards, are going to treat you well. Duh. That's what we all know. What a lot of people don't talk about is the dark side of being a passport bro, which is you're going to leave all your friends and family behind. Unless you're really good at, calling people and making the time, you're going to lose a lot of friendships. You're not going to be able to maintain a lot of friendships that you had back home. You're going to be kind of constantly confused about what's going on. My Spanish is really, really good. My Portuguese is getting there. As if I could turn on like a TikTok where they talk like super fast, all slang, all super fast, all funny accents, and like understand what's going on in every TikTok, or, people with weird accents, people on the street, uneducated people, talk very differently. I'm constantly confused about, what's going on. I don't know about Brazilian politics. Oh, Bolsonaro said this, and well, Lula is the worst president because Lula has, so as if I know or can contribute to that conversation, as if I know their celebrities, as if I know their memes. So you have a constant confusion that's going on. You're struggling with the language. It takes years, unless you're one of these weird savants. Some people learn languages like that. If you're that language, that's that person who learns languages quickly, that's cool. I'm not that person. It's difficult to make friends with locals. It's very easy to date and fuck women. I don't know. I have a bigger network in Medellin than any human being has ever had in the history of the world. And I don't know a single guy who's made true lifelong friends with the locals, because again, they can relate to you on soccer and reggaeton. They're not going to talk about biohacking, creating an email list, creating content, creating upsells and downsells, working out, gym, high-level strategies, nerdy strategies like me for picking up girls. I see some people in the comments calling me a nerd. Yes, I am a self-admitted nerd. If this is too high IQ for you, if you don't get this, I don't know, turn off the stream. But this is it. This is, nerd talk. And the locals of many countries are not going to be able to relate and talk about this high-level stuff with you. You're going to have these nomadic friends. You'll get in Facebook groups. You'll get in WhatsApp groups of foreigners. They're all in and out. They're not going to fucking stay. So you have very transient friendships. You can't get a fucking package. If I want to, this microphone is not even a great microphone. This was like on Amazon in the US, a $50, okay. I hope the audio is pretty good. I hope it's an okay microphone. It was $200 in Brazil. Electronics are through the roof. You can't source anything. There was like a much better webcam I wanted to buy that had a light on it. I can't even find, even if I'm willing to pay 4x the price. So like, you can't get anything. You can't find anything. You have transient friendships. You lose your friends. You have to learn a foreign language. It's hard to make friends with locals. Visas. Oh my God. Visas are nightmares. You think you're just like, I'm just going to live in Brazil now. Bro, I had to like go to a police station, get my fingerprint taken, get that document translated into Portuguese, or no, not yet. Then I had to send it to the FBI, my FBI background check from my fingerprints that I mailed from a Brazilian police station to get an FBI background check, apostilled, which means like notarized, sworn translated into Portuguese. Dude, visas are nightmares, bro, just to get a normal like student visa to stay here. So there's a big dark side. It's a hassle. You have to uproot your whole life. And like I said, all these negative dark sides. So just understand, and then do you want to live in that country? Like a lot of people, oh, Medellin, Colombia. Do you want to raise kids in Colombia? Do you want all your kid to grow up in like an effeminate, weird, low IQ, drug, kidnapping, hooker society? It's all good to go in there and smash for a bit. you're probably all going to go back to the US and raise your fucking kids in the US. You all talk a big fucking game. Oh, no, no. I can't even, not to imitate you, but I can't even socialize in Texas, bro. You're probably not going to raise kids in Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, Brazil. I mean, maybe you would.
I thought about that. Every time I go somewhere, I'm like, man, it's good for me to enjoy myself. But what about when I'm ready to have kids? Like Brazil, is it really that you would have to find a proper place in Brazil, and it wouldn't be what you want, it'd be more about the kids then. So then your happiness might go down a little bit. You know, so I definitely understand. A lot of people don't think that far into the future, but that's very true.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, you're in the young man flex, right? Like, again, young man flex, like I said, is no sleep, drinking, fucking hoes, threesomes, Rolexes, glitz, glamour. The old man flex is a family, is a wife, is a loving wife that respects you with beautiful, well-behaved kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely takes
That's what I'm looking out for. And then you got to decide. And I'm tired of like I got, I got 2 or 3, 4 good friends left behind in Los Angeles. I lived in Miami, Fresh and Fit, Walter, Freshman CEO, whatever. Walter was my roommate in Miami for 2 years. So I got the Fresh and Fit boys, really, really good friends of mine. We're not just podcast content creator buddies. We're actually really, really good friends. I talk to them on a weekly basis. I left them behind in Miami. I got friends in Vegas. I got friends in Medellin. I'm making some friends in Brazil. I'm tired of making a new social circle every few years, man. I'm tired of learning a new language. I barely got a chance to fucking master Spanish. Now I have to master Portuguese. And now I'm forgetting my Spanish. Go figure. Now when I try to speak Spanish, my first instinct is for like Portuguese to come out. So there's a lot, there's a lot to think about. I think in the end, if you just want a beautiful, feminine wife that respects you, I think it's worth it. And am I going to ultimately take her back to the US or stay here? I haven't figured that out. But yeah, it's a thing, man. It's a thing you got to consider,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So definitely need to be considered by many, many people that are choosing this lifestyle. So how do cultural norms and values influence dating practices in the countries you lived in?
Sorry, how do cultural norms influence dating in places I've lived in?
Yeah, cultural norms and values influence the dating practice in countries that you go to.
Yeah, so I'll talk about the 2 countries that I know that I guess, which is Medellin and Brazil. I mean, overall, I think this is kind of universal to women, but especially with Latin women, even put it on steroids. The whole man has to make the first move. Man is the leader. Man is the protector. Man is the provider. Again, I think that's somewhat universal, but that really goes up on steroids in any Latin American country. Let me see. In Medellin. I'm trying to think like a cultural thing specific to Medellin. You definitely have to address the fact that you're a foreigner. And I wouldn't want to say you need to apologize for it, but you definitely have to say, hey, listen, I'm not one of these gringos that you'll see in Parque Geras wearing, chonclas looking for putas y tusi, right? Like I'm not, like one of these, sex tourist foreigners, I live here. And you definitely have to acknowledge that, whether you agree to it or not, at least in their mind, in their reality, you have to acknowledge that there's this, sex tourist gringo problem and you're not one of them and separate yourself from them. Obviously learning Spanish or learning the language is probably the biggest thing. Good luck dating in Latin America if you don't speak Spanish or, Portuguese for Brazil. And for Brazil, I'm sure I'm leaving a lot of stuff out. The way you dress, they don't like guys who wear shorts. They don't like guys who wear sandals. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything else here about Medellin. Guy has to pay for everything. I think in the US, women expect that too. But ugly girls, I think in the US are fine splitting the bill. I don't think any girl over a 6 is splitting the bill. But I know ugly girls, especially once they're your girlfriend, they're happy to split the bill. 2 ugly people start dating in San Francisco, they're splitting the bills probably. But in Medellin, the man's always, the provider providing always. And then in Brazil, something you talked about, if you say you're at a bar in Rio, you approach a girl, she smiles, it was a receptive approach, she likes you, you're chatting. You bought her a drink, you're drinking it. It's been about 15 minutes. If you don't go in and make out with her, she's going to think you're gay.
Yeah. Yeah. I keep telling people that.
So that's a big thing here, making the first move. What else in Brazil is a big thing? like I said, learning the language. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything here. Maybe I've had more time to think about it. Cultural differences. Also just understand that they're very much like, they can complain about Brazil or they can complain about Colombia, but they don't like it when you do it. So like they can, talk about Pablo Escobar or how lousy their president is or how stupid their people are, but they don't like it when you do it. Like, don't mention Pablo Escobar. Don't get into Brazilian politics, I guess, unless, say you both hate the left. You can talk about how you both hate the leftist president as long as you agree. But they're very, very, what's the word, like proud and sensitive to you talking about their issues as well.
Yeah, they have something that we used to have in the United States, where everybody used to be super proud from being from the United States. But now, like if a foreigner came to the United States and was like, "Oh, like the streets are bumpy here," like I don't think anybody would give a fuck. But if you go to Colombia and like, "Hey, these streets will fuck your car up," oh, they'll be ready to run you out the country if you say that. They'll be pissed off about that. So
funny.
That's another culture shock. It's like, damn, y'all really give a fuck about y'all's country. Like, I mean, you should, yes, but I mean, where I'm from, it's like we're very passive about that. So,
I mean, imagine if a Korean guy came to the US and threw big penthouse parties and only invited other Korean people. Would we give two fucks? I'd be like, cool, do you, man? Like, what the fuck do I care? Imagine if I went to, oh God. Like, it's wild, man.
Yeah, they have a completely different mindset. I would agree. So the next question that I have for you is, can you share a particular moment, that a dating moment from one of your travels that was the most significant to you?
A dating moment that was the most significant to me. Let me think of one. Okay, so this is actually this isn't like I don't know, anything super super crazy, but should I think of a better one? Well, I'll just use this one because it comes to mind. When I first went to Brazil, I was actually, the first time I came, I wasn't expecting to stay here super long term. I actually just ran out of days on my visa. I had like 9 months there and I couldn't get any more days. So I went to Brazil, and there was this girl that I messaged that she looked like as if she was designed in like a 3-dimensional, like, like Tomb Raider, like Lara Croft. She like, if you were to bring her to scale, the proportions would just be ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, she looked like she was like a video game character designed to perfection in like a 3D software. She was the most beautiful girls I'd ever seen. I would show pictures of her to my friends and they'd be like, dude, this is the most beautiful girl I've seen in porn magazines, like Instagram, whatever. And we would talk and flirt a lot. She was in Bahia, actually. I know you're big on Bahia, right? She was she wasn't black though. She was like very dark morena, but she wasn't like black. But yeah, she was smoke, and she was also a lawyer, and she also spoke English, and she also had a US visa. And I'm pretty confident, I'm pretty, arrogant son of a bitch, but pretty cocky with my abilities with women. But I just thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to get this girl. And lo and behold, I did. I didn't get her that trip. I had to go back to the US and do some things, but I got her on a future trip, and she showed up and she looked just as good in person. And I have, I've done videos with her. She's one of my first videos. We've got on my channel. It's one of the, probably like my 3rd or 4th upload, how I pulled a Brazilian 10 off of Instagram. I have a whole, thing with her. And it just really shattered my reality. That you've seen that? Okay.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. Lana is her name. And it just really shattered my reality. Like, God damn, like I used to like jack off to her photos. I thought like, I'm never going to ever see this girl. I've been with some hot girls, but this is like up into my life, the most beautiful girl I had ever seen. And I'm like, damn, like, combination of like super high status profile that makes you attractive to women. Plus at this time I didn't have a virtual assistant. I would like, my routine was like, wake up, sugar-free Red Bull, message 20 girls, wake up, I should cold shower too. Wake up, cold shower, Red Bull, message girls. Wake up, cold shower, Red Bull, girls. Every day. I messaged 600 girls in a month, 20 times 30. And she just happened to be one of them. So I was like, damn, a really good attractive profile, plus a shitload of volume, plus, going to where it's a little bit easier. Brazil is definitely easier. Plus, honestly, just luck. Like, this is like the most, I thought she was like from another planet. This is the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen. And it really shattered my reality. And that's when I'm like, damn, okay, I should probably like teach this stuff. Like I'm solving a big problem for guys. Again, if this fucking nerdy fuck very normal, run-of-the-mill, average white boy can be dating a literal, actual perfect 10. And, when I brought her out to Medellin, my friends were saying, dude, this is the hottest girl I've ever seen in my life. Like, like I'm jealous. Dude, you know what my friend said to me? He was like super drugged out at a club. And he's like, I just want you to know, man, from the bottom of my heart, you're a really good friend. And even if Lana told me, say you were out one day and Lana said, Michael, I just want you to fuck me so hard. I've been thinking about you and I really want you more than Casey. We just please fuck me. I want you to know I still wouldn't do it, man. And I'm like, duh, like, what the fuck? Like, I should hope you wouldn't do it. But just the fact that he felt like he needed to say that was just like, and then I had guys, I don't know, like breaking up with their girlfriends because of her. And I was, anyway, just the fact of me to like actually pull that off. Yeah. I had guys saying like, I didn't know like that was possible. If you can do this, like, I want to start dating other girls now and then opening up their reality. Yeah. People pointed it out too, but Lana spelled backwards. That's like one of the most popular comments I get. Think about it. Lana spelled backwards.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I saw that. Thank you, Will, for the super chat.
But anyway, yeah, it was just a big inspirational, moment. So.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Sounds like I need to upgrade again the type of women I'm talking to after hearing that. So, what are some challenges you face while dating abroad, and how have you addressed them?
Yeah, learning languages is tough, man. That's probably the biggest one. I was always good in other subjects like math, writing was always pretty easy. I was always that could get straight A's pretty easily. But languages, man, I'm like a very, very average language learner. And you can tell from, my nerdy affect. For me to feel average in any field of academia is pretty strange to me. So I have to learn, I have to like make flashcards and study and make time for it. So, that's been a challenge dating overseas. When I was in Colombia, I had a big challenge too, where, back in the US, we have a lot of stupid people in the US, a lot of very, very stupid people. But at least if you're on a university campus, I mean, women can be brainwashed and very dumb in the sense of like woke culture brainwashed, but they're very book smart. At least they can, if you said like, hey, handle some small task, can you research cheap rental car places, put them into a Google sheet and like list out the best options for me to get a rental car? Like they could do that. Like they're very book smart. They can handle, basic tasks. And I thought, when I was dating in Medellin, I found, I'll just be very honest, at least in my experience, very, very low IQ women that just said, I see. I like, que bacano, que chévere, que chimba. And they just didn't have a whole lot to say. They had a couple sound bites. And I thought that women were rather kind of like book smart and they could hold an interesting conversation. Maybe we're kind of like aware of what's going on in society, like girls in the US, but masculine and difficult and not sexy and not feminine. Or they were feminine and sexy, but offered nothing in the way of like interesting conversation. And they're just kind of, dumb and feminine. Of course, in Brazil, I seem to have found, a good mixture of both. But depending on the country you're in, it can be very difficult to find women that you're going to actually really relate to and connect to on a mental level. Again, I think Brazil is good for that. But Brazil's not a super easy dating market either. So there's no Shangri-La, there's no perfect area. While Brazil does have that perfect marriage of like, high intelligence and they maintain and embrace their femininity still. One of the few countries that I think does a good job at both. It's a difficult market, man. It's not like you just get off the plane and, start matching with hot girls like you can in Medellin. So yeah, that was the thing, connecting with girls. And again, I'm picking on Medellin a lot. This may not be issues in other countries, but I found a lot of girls that were addicted to 2C. I found a lot of girls that were very low IQ that would ask me for money, especially after I blew up in the media. Then I think a lot of the girls just kind of saw me as like only short-term, fuckboy potential. And pretty much all of them all started asking me for money after that. But my other friends reported a very similar thing too. So I don't know. So I would say like, yeah, like low IQ, girls asking you for money, learning languages. If you don't speak the same language as a girl, it's a drag. And even this, let's say I could download perfect Portuguese into my brain. I can't just put on a YouTube video. Okay, perfect example. Let's say that I'm dating a girl. I speak fluent Portuguese. I don't, but let's say that. And I say, she's like, how was your day? Oh, she worked. And she goes, how about your day, babe? Like, oh, I won this really interesting podcast. Yeah, this really, cool guy, Austin Holloman. Did I say it right? Austin Holloman?
Mm-hmm.
Austin Holloman invited me on and we had a really, interesting stream where we talked about all these things. She'd go, oh, cool. Let me see it. I'd be like, why? You wouldn't understand 2 words of it. So dating a girl who doesn't speak English is kind of a drag. Again, even if you speak Spanish or Portuguese and you can talk to her, Dave Chappelle's new Netflix comedy special came out. You can't watch that with her. You want to watch like The Matrix. She's not going to understand. I guess you could put the subtitles on, but it's not the same, with subtitles. So yeah, it's a little bit of a drag, not always dating a girl that speaks the same language. Oh, and someone asked in the comments, Tusi, Tusi. It's like this weird pink drug that they make in Colombia. It's primarily ketamine, but it could have MDMA in it. It could have acid in it. It's ketamine plus XYZ. Who knows? Sometimes pure ketamine. Sometimes got weird shit in there. Fentanyl even.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, there's always a disconnect whenever you're dating in a country where they don't speak English. It's never, unless if she just learns it like completely, like she went to live in the States or something, it's never going to be a full connection.
Yeah.
So how do you manage long distance relationships or connections while continuously traveling?
And I'm not good at that. Like, you mean like with male friends or girls or both?
Women.
Yeah, I don't, man. Here's the thing. Let's say I was to meet, I don't know, my ideal, Brazilian princess here, a girl that I saw, worthy of, wife and kids and all that someday. And I had to, travel for a bit, wanted to visit. If she had a US visa, I would, fly her out to come with me. If I was going to go chill with some buddies, I have a good network in like Mexico City, I might fly her out, or we might do, like a month apart while I was out there. Of course, all my relationships, for the record, would also be the one-sided open relationship. Not to go too much off on a tangent, but at least for me, never been an issue. Never. We can talk about that if you want, like how I propose that. But like the whole, like, listen, I'm going to fuck other girls with restrictions. Like, I'll always wear a condom. I'll never take them on vacations. It'll never be a long thing. It'll only be a couple times. I'll never post them on social media, et cetera, et cetera. Always be kind of a hidden thing. Never been a problem. So yeah, like, that's what I would do in theory, is like, yeah, have them travel with me. But dude, no, I'm even like, there's friends who are like, oh, I've been meaning to call this guy. I know you were asking about girls, but like in general, and I don't even travel that much, bro. To be honest, like I lived in Medellin. I didn't travel. I'm not like an Austin Holloman. I'm not going to, 20 different countries in a year or something like that, or whatever you do. I pretty much stay put, and I'm not good at maintaining those.
Okay. So could you explain the importance of understanding cultural sensitivities when dating internationally? You kind of touched on this earlier.
Yeah, just to repeat, like, yeah, in Colombia, don't mention Pablo Escobar. In Brazil, don't get involved and talk about their politics unless you're sure that she's politically, aligned with you. And like we said, I think we kind of cover this. Yeah, they're very sensitive. Just don't. They'll start complaining about their issues and their country and their stuff, but the second you chime in and complain, yeah, they get very proud and defensive, and they don't like it.
Okay, and I'm trying to think for my next question. Have I actually encountered this? But it is, have you, and you kind of did with the whole party situation. Have you encountered any legal or ethical issues while dating abroad that you feel others should be aware of? I'm trying to think, have I had that issue though? I don't think I've had that issue besides the Brazil situation.
Yeah, legal or ethical issue. So the only thing that I can think of is like, you do have to understand that when you're in a foreign country, shit can get wild. Like, if you look at these like Passport Bro Facebook groups, are you in these Passport Bro Facebook groups, Austin? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
99% of those guys are just going there for pay for play. Mm-hmm. And every once in a while I hear a wild story. I'll hear these things like my friends have a podcast, Men Tuition podcast, and they talk about like, oh, they'll be with a prepaid girl, if you guys can read between the lines what a prepaid woman is, and then she'll try to like upcharge them, and they make a big scene. Just in most cases, unless you can just get away with it, just pay her. You can get a lot of danger. You don't know who she's going to call. She can call even the police and say you assaulted her, you raped her. And then in terms of like things to be aware of, yeah, like foreign countries just generally don't like seeing foreigners come here and have success with women and kind of brag about it, put on YouTube. Whenever I make a video about dating in Brazil, I'll never talk about any of the negatives. First of all, to be honest, I don't really have very many negatives with the dating market in Brazil, other than it can be a little difficult if you don't have everything super on point. It's one of the more challenging dating. Again, if you're going 7.5 and above, if you want to get 6s and 5s, it's very easy here. But when you go about an 8 and above, it gets very, very hard. That might be the only negative things. Yeah, just be careful what you say. I guess I think we talked about this enough. Yeah, I think just be careful. They're very prideful.
Okay. So can you discuss any strategies for maintaining privacy and safety when you're using apps like Tinder and Bumble?
Yeah, so the whole, privacy and safety thing, I think a lot of this is a little bit like guys worry too much. They create problems when they're not on Instagram, for example. If you have a private Instagram profile, you've just ostracized yourself from the biggest dating app in the world. Again, some of you guys can go to my channel, Redbeard Rants on YouTube after this. You'll see B-roll after B-roll after B-roll after B-roll. I'm going to upload a full-on date that I did with a stunning chick. That video is being edited right now. And none of this would happen if I had a private Instagram. All these dates, all this B-roll, nothing would have happened. No girl is going to be like, some random private profile requested me. Let me accept his request and then go accept him. No. So first of all, think like, do you have to be as private as you think you have to? Second of all, if you think you do, don't flash the Rolex, don't flash the jewelry. Don't if you're staying at, like, for example, in Medellin, a building called Energy Living, maybe don't post the pool at Energy Living, because that's just going to give away. Like, if I just posted, like, this living room that I'm in Sao Paulo, I'm just in a normal apartment building in Sao Paulo. But like, you got know the lay of the land. Like, if I'm staying at Charlie Hotel Medellin or Energy, everybody knows what these places are. And if you're coming there, with a lot of cash, guys can see on your story night after night, you're having, girl after girl after girl there. And like I said, jewelry, watches and stuff, then you can kind of make yourself a target. And, beyond that, especially in, I'm not like I'm talking about Medellin a lot, but it's where I lived for so many years. Be aware of scopolamine, which is the drug that girls put into your drink. If she doesn't have an Instagram with photos that are like put this way, you get a girl on Tinder, you say, hey, I want to talk on Instagram. She goes, sure, here's my Instagram. She's got photos of her at her office. It shows where she graduated school. She's got pictures of her friends and family. She's tagged. Very unlikely that girl's gonna scope you, give you the drug scopolamine and knock you out and rob you. But if she's like, ay, amor, no tengo Instagram, like, okay, she's gonna fucking draw. I just said, I don't have Instagram. That's what I said in Spanish.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, solo WhatsApp, amor. Then she's probably looking to rob you. If she's like talking about drinking a lot, if she's being too forward, if she's too beautiful and making it too easy for you. And I hate when people victim blame. A lot of time you'll see like these guys that are very naive. You can tell, again, with all due respect, that they probably couldn't get pussy from a dead cat back home in the US. And there was some overly beautiful girl way out of their league. And then they get, drugged and robbed and sometimes murdered by these girls. And I don't like the victim blame, like, oh, he's so naive. Why would she think she would want him? Look, man, he's just thinking with his dick. He's not, he's new to it, but try to have that awareness, right? Is it too good to be true? Is she way hotter and way more forward than anything you've gotten before? Those would be my best tips. And make sure she's got an Instagram, ask to see her ID, maybe if she comes back to your place, kind of obvious things like that.
Agreed. That was very good information. The article said, if she is someone who uses her ankles as earrings, don't eat her cat. Yeah. Thank you for the super chat. Judicial 2000 sent $10 for Casey. Do you think you could link my man Austin up with Fresh and Fit Prince to be on Fresh Prince to be on Fresh and Fit?
Possibly. I talk to him on a daily basis. I could absolutely mention it.
Okay, yeah, I'd appreciate that. Thank you very much. The next question, and do you believe that matchmaking services are still effective? Traditional matchmaking services are still effective in 2024 with the modern dating culture we have today? Yeah,
so my strategy about build a high set of social media, make it look really cool, charming video content, it's attractive, and then have a virtual assistant, show that profile to a whole bunch of people. That's just one of a trillion ways to meet a lot of women. Like I said, I don't care if you become a DJ at a nightclub. I don't care if you, again, like I said, the random example, you become the president of your fraternity. So you're coordinating all the events with the sororities and you have unlimited access to the sorority girls. Or like you just said, why not a matchmaking service? It doesn't matter. As long as you're meeting a ton, move a club promoter in to be your roommate. As long as you have engineered your life in some way, shape, or form where you are constantly meeting new high and emphasis on high quality. You don't want to meet a bunch of ugly chicks. As long as you're meeting high quality women. If this matchmaking service has big booty Brazilian English speaking tens that speak English in their repertoire, get me signed up for that matchmaking service. I wouldn't imagine that a typical matchmaking service, at least for me personally, would have girls of the physical beauty standards that I would require, being a superficial fuck like I am. But if they did, again, all that matters is you're meeting a lot of beautiful women that you like, whether it's my way, the matchmaking way. That's all you really need, is to meet a lot of women.
Yeah. So I think I've had that best experience when I was in Africa and Kenya and Tanzania. I had two dudes I used to hang out with that were either a party promoter or there was just one guy that knew everybody in the city. And I always stayed around beautiful women in that city because of that. So yeah, I'm relating that based off the party promoter that you brought up. So 2 more questions. What are some pitfalls to avoid when using social media to enhance your dating prospects?
Yeah, I'm gonna open my curtain, just get a little more light in here. I'll be back in literally 5 seconds here.
Okay. You guys, if you have not already, give the video a like. Give the video a like so more people can find out. I linked the selfie light stick that he was talking about to take photos with. I linked that in the chat if you guys want to pick that up.
Yeah. Well, yours is a bit different than mine. Yours is a selfie stick. Mine is like, I can even look for it at the end of the stream, or I think I even see it on my bed. In a second, I'll just go up and grab it and literally just show the exact one I do. But yours is a selfie stick. Mine just clips onto a phone. It's like, and it fits in your pocket. It's not much bigger than this card, and we'll talk about, remind me at the end of the stream to go up and grab it, because you will get every photo you take at nighttime is amazing. And you'll be like a little celebrity. If you're at like a bar or nightclub, people are like, oh my God, like they'll ask you to take their photo. It's a great way to get conversation started. So anyway, sorry, brother. I got up to open the curtain and get a little more light in here. What was the question again? It was about optimizing social media.
What are some pitfalls to avoid when using social media to enhance your dating prospects?
Cool. We talked about a few of these, right? So a big one, which I already mentioned, is, especially because everyone here is a passport, bro. Don't do the whole a million story highlights in a million different countries. We talked about this. She's just going to see you as a traveling fuckboy. Now, Austin, maybe, that's an honest signal for you, right? For where you're at right now. But I've always found, especially for meeting and dating, especially the super high quality women, you want to at least you want to sell them the dream, right? Even hoes want a long-term relationship. So sell them the dream, say you live in that city, right? So that could be a pitfall, is not saying you live in that city, not clearly on your social media, saying that you live in that city. Number 2 is having way too many travel photos. Number 3 is common mistakes. I did a whole video about this, but let me think. Oh, I got one. You will be judged. Men and women both do this. You will be judged by your worst photo. I'm going to say that again. You will be judged by your worst photo. So if you go out and do a photo shoot, you have all these nice spiffy photos where well lit, well dressed, good focal length, whatever it's called, and on the camera. And then you have your old shitty grainy selfies. You got to go back and fucking delete those. You guys ever been on a dating app and you see the main photo, you're like, oh damn, she's hot. You swipe again, oh shit, baby, come to mama. Oh, come to mama. Oh, come to mama. Then you get to the last one, you're like, oh, like that's what she actually like. How they like the worst photo is how you assume that like they actually look in real life. So there's a website, zero affiliation to them, but it's called Photo Feeler. So like FHOTO FEELER, Photo Feeler. The cost is minimal. It's like $2-3 per photo. I don't know what it is, but real women will rate your photo, and it's not 100%. I wouldn't, take it to the bank and try to, cash it at the bank, but it's a very good general guideline. Just take, 20 photos. So maybe you'd spend what, $40 at the most, and go to this website. And it takes, a few hours, maybe up to a day to get them all rated. But real women will give you a score. I could across the board. I mean, think about if I posted an online dating photo, like I'm kind of like this, right? Got my little smirk, Now, what if I just kind of like pose like, I can't even get my beard hides the double chin, but you're like, that's my photo. Now I'm this guy. I'm this little weasel guy, right? Or I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not good at posing. I'm not good looking, but you guys know what I mean.
Yeah.
I can come across, I've rated photos, bro. I can rate from I think the lowest I've ever gotten is like 2.7 or 3. I usually get about a 5.5, and I've rated as high as like an 8 or 8.5 sometimes. And some of my physique photos, I'll like go to the gym, I'll do push-ups, I'll pump up my arms, I'll make sure I have the best lighting. It's a plan shot. I'll get like, actually I do have a, decent physique. And then I'm not going to lie, I use Photoshop and some enhancements, and I make myself about 10% more muscular and defined, because girls are doing this. If you have any problem with that, and guy says, well, aren't you worried that if you edit your photos and make yourself a little bit buffer, or I use Face App, I make my face a little bit better, I make my skin a little bit clearer, aren't you going to notice, aren't you afraid that on the date she's going to notice that you edited your photos a little bit? I'm like, no, but what I am worried is that she isn't going to look like her photos. Bro, these bitches are fucking wizards with their editing photos. So don't worry about, if you're slightly touching up your photos, if she's going to notice that you doctored your photos. Just worry if she looks like hers. And that, so I would say, again, back to the mistakes, right? Too many travel pics, not saying you live in the city. I would put something in that language. If you're in, a foreign country, you speaking Spanish, you speaking Portuguese, you get judged by your worst photo. Have your photos rated on Photo Feeler. Nothing controversial or weird. No Trump memes, no pet tarantula, nothing weird, nothing controversial. I wouldn't post landscapes and stuff that isn't you. No fuckboy behavior, no smoking the J, no hitting the bong, no bottle service. No, you got the bitches, you're drinking bottles, you're doing drugs. Those would be the biggest mistakes that I would see. Yeah, and just low quality photos. Car selfies, sitting on grandma's plastic couch in the basement playing Call of Duty. Every photo should kind of serve a purpose of like you're doing something interesting. Again, you want to look attractive, you want to look high status. Kind of some of the things I was talking about earlier.
Okay, number 30 is finally. What has been the most rewarding part of combining your love for travel with your profession as a dating coach?
Oh man. Well, yeah, I would say, two things. One is, again, it was combining my love of being, of travel with a dating coach. That was the question, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, just getting beautiful feminine women that treat me well for, I started doing this when I was like 28, 29 years old. So starting then, that was the first point in my life when I truly had women that I felt were, feminine, beautiful, respected me, treated me well. I didn't feel like with American women, I had to play this weird dance of like, I kind of have to be an asshole and I kind of have to play hard to get and I kind of have to push her away, but just enough. Because if I'm too much of an overt asshole, she'll just leave me because, I'm being an asshole. I have to be just the right amount where I could actually like just be sweet and caring to the women. Obviously, you got to be a man. You got to have a backbone. She gets out of line. She gets moody. You got to, fucking check that shit. Put them in their place, especially Latin women. They really like it when they get feisty with you and you check them, right? Mm. And then also, with being, so that's my love of travel, dating, and then being an online dating coach. I loved going to the clubs. I loved, doing bottle service, at a certain point in my life. And I had a lot of good adventures, even some dangerous situations, some fights, some big successes, some big letdowns, this and that, the roller coaster of, being out there and, being in the battlefield, as it were. Right. But now that it's all online and, 90% of the women I meet are all online, I can do it without having to trade my time for money. I don't have to be out at the club till 4 a.m., buying bottles or buying drinks for girls, fucking up my circadian rhythm, waking up at 11 a.m., 12 a.m. The days are super short, bro. If you wake up at 11, 12 a.m. in the wintertime, the sun could already be set by 4:45. You get like 3 or 4 hours of fucking sunlight, bro. It's depressing. So now that I basically, cloned myself. I've done the work to create the profile, and the virtual assistant does it. I just wake up with leads. It's easy. I don't have to, go out and, kill everything I eat. The food is now just brought to me. And then, teaching this to other guys is really rewarding too, because I think, let's relate this to in-person, right? I think when every guy is young, I'm talking really young, 10, 11, 12 years old. I think every guy goes through a simp phase, right? Like, Austin, did you ever I'm going to do this girl's homework for her. And if I do her homework for her, she's going to like me and she's going to want to kiss me because I did her I'll just be really nice to her. And all, I think every guy goes through a simp phase in real life. But the good thing about real life is maybe you have an older brother you can model. Maybe you have other guy friends. You learn from just, whatever, seeing it done by your friends, other guys, and just kind of instinctively. And there's a lot of content out there about how to do this in person. The problem is nobody knows how to do it online, and all the online dating advice is very, very generic. It's be good looking, get a photographer. There's no mention about how you can create attraction through your lifestyle, by doing fun shit, by having fun activities, by being in group shots. There's no talk about using Instagram ads to boost yourself and find the girls that aren't even on the dating apps, because sometimes dating apps can lock you into a cohort where they're only showing you ugly girls. No one's talking about Instagram. No one's talking about automation. Certainly no one's talking about funny, charming video content like I'm talking about, which is the single best takeaway you should take from this video. So it's been kind of interesting to kind of, maybe I'm arrogant or whatever, but to kind of be the pioneer, the forefront leader, and doing all this shit. I mean, tell me in the chat, has anybody ever heard this? Has anybody ever heard you got to make charming, funny videos of yourself? You got to get an online dating virtual assistant. You have to build attraction through women online using your personality and your lifestyle rather than relying on your looks. Has anybody ever, heard this stuff? Someone's talking about David Bond. Okay, I will give you that. David Bond, we overlap. He's a good friend of mine, actually, really good friend of mine. I talked to him a lot. Actually, we threw a party together in Brazil one time together. So yeah, I will give you that. David Bond is somewhat, kind of on the same thing. So, but I think I don't think David Bond has really talked about doing virtual assistants the same way that I do. He certainly doesn't recommend, doing the funny videos or providing direct scripts for that, or running virtual assistants as a service for guys like I do it, or providing, the exact job post to go hire these people. But yeah, David Bond is on a high level too. But it's just been fun to kind of, and then, I guess I get noticed by, Mr. Austin Holloman, get invited to do, good podcasts. I'm interviewing Alex Playing with Fire on my channel. Austin Summers, I'm connecting with a lot of, top guys in the industry. Obviously, I've been on Fresh and Fit multiple times. So I'd say that's been a really rewarding part too, to kind of, I don't know, create the niche, or so to speak, to kind of, create all the new technology and really change guys' lives, give them a new way to do this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, do you have time for, do you have enough time, or do you want to do a call in? If not, that's fine as well.
What do you mean by what's a call in? Somebody calling in?
Yes. So people want to call in and talk to you.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I got time, bro.
So before that, let's answer this super chat. Jason Shoulder says, Casey, how do you propose to girls that you want a one-way open relationship?
Yeah. So I call this, let's call it the cigarette, technique, or the heroin technique. Nobody tries cigarettes once or tries heroin once and says, I'm doing heroin for the first time and I'm planning to be a heroin addict. I'm gonna get addicted to do this every day. But meth, whatever it is, you try meth once, you're addicted. You never thought you were going to get addicted, but already has its grasp on you. So what do I mean by this? I would never on the first date say to a girl, yeah, we're having dinner. How do you like the wine here? What's better, the red or white? Oh, you like the red wine. Interesting. I like the white. Anyway, we're doing this one-sided open relationship thing. I would never just bring that up on the first date out of nowhere. You get them addicted. You get them in love with you. After one good thing about me is because I went through the whole pickup artist, thing and learned about female psychology so much, I'm very good at retention. If I can get a girl on a date, I do get flaked on. I do get ghosted after first dates once in a while. I'm not going to lie. But if I can get a girl on 2-3 dates, generally I have them. If I want them to make them fall in love with me, if I want them to be my girlfriend, and it's just from, decades of going to clubs and dating girls and dealing with women, understanding psychology. So at that point, once they're, we went 3 or 4 dates and they're really, really into you. They see you as this amazing guy. They have a super strong connection with you. You fuck them really good. You treat them really well. They think you're funny, charming, amazing guy. Then when she brings up the talk, which they will inevitably, and by the way, it's pretty important that you let them bring it up first. I would say if you're like 4 or 5 months in and she hasn't brought up the talk of like, what are we, then maybe you go for it and do it if you want her to be your girlfriend. But nine times out of 10, she'll bring it up first. Then you just kind of say, hey, listen, you know, as guys, every guy just wants variety. You know, women don't operate the same way. When a woman truly loves a man, you know, she's not thinking about other guys. I mean, you know, think about Jay-Z. Do you think when Jay-Z was coming up and becoming a famous rapper, all the fame and money for the first time, do you think he just wanted one girl? No, all these rappers, they're dogs. The Game, 50 Cent, they fuck, you know, new girls every single night. But how about Beyonce? When Beyonce was first coming up and getting fame, do you think Beyonce was like, oh, girl, now that I got that bag, I'm sucking a different dick every single night, girl. It's great. No, women want one guy. And, you know, do you see, and also, babe, are you with me still, babe? Do you see how sometimes also you see guys that have like, you know, a 9 or 10 girlfriend and they'll go and cheat on her with like a 5? It's just because she's new. Guys want different. However, I don't want to scare you. Well, I maybe do want some sexual variety, like every guy. I don't want variety in love. You're going to be the only girl I want to love. I don't want to, you know, have multiple wives and girlfriends, but I got to get out of my system once in a while, you know? So if I want, you know, these girls, you know, it's completely physical. There's no emotion at all. It's literally like me using like a fleshlight or like a sex doll. I just want to get it in. I never want to post them on social media. I never want to take them on vacations. I'm never going to call them babe or love. I'm going to keep it, you know, strictly business with them. They're never going to sleep over. I'm always going to wear a condom with them. It's not going to be a long thing. You're the only girl I want to love. I'm crazy about you, babe. But you know, guys are this, and, you know, it will never affect our relationship. You have nothing to worry about. And look, they may get moody. They may, you know, fight back on that when you propose this to them. But if it comes down to accepting that or losing me, at least in my case, I've never lost them. Now I know like I know I'm going to be like the next girl I date's going to be like my absolute dream girl. And then she's going to be the one girl that says, nope, no way, no how, I won't put up with it. But I don't want to jinx it. But at least as of now, it's never been an issue.
That's the same thing I do as well. That's the same thing I do. So somebody said, did you say everything that you wanted to say? Do you feel like there was anything that you came here wanting to cover that you didn't say already?
No, I think you gave me ample time. I mostly just wanted to talk about, you know, the online dating stuff. And I was, one thing I forgot to mention too, I meant to say at the beginning of the show that I forgot was, or maybe I did, I forget, but I'll say it again if I did say it already. I get hit up to do these interviews all the time. And Austin, you came to me with the absolute best, most well-researched, most thought out questions. I can tell that you know, actually watched the channel. They actually did your research on me. You knew what I was about, that I was a proponent of the online dating virtual assistants, that I was all about online dating, about my history in Brazil, Colombia. So this is one of the best interviews that I did. So thank you. And actually there was one thing we forgot to mention, I think, which was the Instagram ads, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So here's my 2 cents on Instagram ads. I love them and I hate them. Here's why. Big, good looking guy, young guy, shirtless photos, ripped body in an easy dating market. Instagram ads are a cheat code. It's unbelievable the amount of gorgeous women you will have throwing themselves at you. Again, this is super good looking guy with great photos in an easy dating market. As you kind of go down a little bit, you know, kind of good looking guy in a kind of easy dating market, average guy in an average market, it dwindles in effectiveness very easily. And then also the hottest of the hot girls don't tend to raise their hand, meaning like a photo or send you a message first. There's a difference in marketing called inbound and outbound marketing. Outbound means I contact you, I cold call you, I message you on Instagram, I whatever, send you a letter. I don't know, but I call you, I reach out to you. Inbound is when they contact you. They make the prospect goes to your website and they contact you. The hottest of the hot girls, it's all outbound. You have to reach out to them. The 6s and 7s is inbound. They will respond to your ad. They will like your photo. They will make the first move on you. Very seldom for an 8.5 or a 9 to make the first move. So, but again, super good looking guy in an easy dating market, let's say Barranquilla, super good looking dude doing Instagram ads, you better believe he's going to get some 8.5s and 9s liking his photos. And are those girls going to respond to his message and want to go out with him? Yeah, some of them will. if I did that, could I get down? But again, if I'm cold outreaching to the girls, it's better. So I found better results for myself in my, you know, white 36-year-old average, you know, face and body, doing outbound, sending the virtual assistant to go outbound and get the girls rather than using ads to bring them to me.